Hello everyone, my name is Jack Golden, and today I'm going to be talking about my final project, which was about the clinical applications of psilocybin. So psilocybin is the psychoactive chemical in magic mushrooms, and it gives the mushrooms their psychedelic properties. In the second half of the 20th century, uh, LSD, psilocybin, all gained pretty negative reputations, uh, probably because they were associated with counterculture at the time, and it was thought that if you took these drugs, you would become unproductive and go against the government. Um, but research is showing now that they have clinical worth and they should be studied a little bit more. Um, and one of my favorite studies I looked at psilocybin being used to treat alcohol dependence. So they had in this 2015 study, 10 patients with alcoholism were given a dosage of psilocybin, and several weeks later, most of them remained abstinent from drinking. I thought this was really ironic because, again, a very illicit drug is being used to treat a substance that's ubiquitous in society and is commonly used, and it's really not frowned upon. So it just shows how our perception of drugs is warped on which ones can be used clinically, and we separate them and put them in categories of which drugs are bad without really questioning it. And but yeah, I thought it was really interesting how a single dosage was able to have such a strong impact on these people's lives and help change their behavior. So not only does psilocybin help people who are struggling with their addictions, it also changes people's political views and personality traits. So the people in this study took 10 milligrams and 25 milligrams of psilocybin 1 week apart, and a year later they had significantly different answers on political tests and personality tests. So they were less authoritarian, so and they also were higher in trade openness, which means they were more creative and they were more likely to think outside of the box and question things, which makes sense because the counterculture of the 1960s was very strongly associated with questioning the government's intentions and the traditional ways of operating society and our occupation uh, overseas. I also thought it was interesting how, once again, just 2 doses of psilocybin was enough to affect people up to a year later, which you don't see with SSRIs, which have to be taken daily uh, for weeks to see some type of change. And this is not the case with this drug. So many people are looking at the research and realizing that psilocybin does have clinical value. It can help people who are depressed, end of life patients who are dealing with anxiety, people who are addicted to alcohol. So it does have many positives to it. However, there is the chance that if you take these drugs, you will have a bad trip and it could be traumatic later on. And this is a legitimate concern. So people are wondering if microdosing is the solution to this problem. So microdosing is when you take a very, very small amount of a psychedelic drug, uh, and it's such a nominal amount that you don't even get high. However, it acts as a nootropic and improves your cognitive function. So in 2018, researchers investigated this phenomenon of microdosing and had participants uh, complete assessments that looked at divergent thinking and convergent thinking, and after they microdosed, they performed better on both of these assessments. So this is promising news for people who are interested in psilocybin.